The year was 2003, and the Rock am Ring Festival in Nuremberg, Germany was the event of the summer everyone was talking about. From June 6th to June 8th, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Audioslave, Limp Bizkit, Deftones, and tons of other enormous bands in the industry got together at the Nuremberg racetrack, an effort to entertain a huge audience and melt the faces of the masses. For one headliner, Marilyn Manson, however, this night would prove to become one of the worst nights in band history. Marilyn Manson was scheduled to play on the final day of the three-day festival, a Sunday late afternoon show. The group was slotted right in front of one of the main attractions, Metallica, in kind of a strategic effort to get people to center stage and get the audience amped and hyped for one of the show's main events. Now, Marilyn Manson himself is more than well known for his controversial and, honestly, just downright sometimes strange antics. But on this evening, it was actually guitarist John 5 who would lose his cool. The band was finishing up their set, a 16-song performance culminating with a rendition of Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics, and closing out with two of their biggest hits, The Fight Song and The Beautiful People. Just seconds into the iconic riff of the latter, however, Marilyn Manson, while partaking in his usual onstage antics, delivers a boot print right to the chest of John 5 while he's playing. John 5 did not like that. In response, John 5 throws his guitar on the ground and proceeds to charge at Manson pretty aggressively. The singer appears stunned, almost like he can't believe the reaction from his guitarist, and quickly things have become chaotic. What Manson did? That happens all the time. He didn't do anything wrong. I just snapped. It was weird. I went nuts, John 5 said about that night in a 2022 interview. I feel terrible watching it now because it really was my fault. John 5 would reveal in that same interview that he had received news not long before about his sister passing away unexpectedly. I was in Europe coming down the stairs off a stage after a concert, and they told me my sister died. You just go into a state of shock. John 5 revealed he didn't sleep for, quote, 2 days after receiving the news of his sister, which led directly into the night of the Rock am Ring Festival in Nuremberg. John 5 went on to say about Manson, "You can't really hear what he's saying, but he's saying pick up your guitar," because he knew what was going on. It was terrible because he's such a nice person and I was in such a weird place at that time. It was just terrible. The band was able to, albeit awkward, finish the set they started that night, but it was pretty clear now there was a lot more tension within. While both Manson and John 5 claimed there was no ill will between them after the incident, and that everything was fine, less than a year later and they weren't even working together anymore. John 5 was out of Marilyn Manson by mid-2004, claiming it was a mutual decision and that creative differences were just too great. John 5 said the two musicians were, quote, just on different roads in terms of what they wanted for their future. Quote, he, meaning Manson, wanted to write with other members of the band, and I wanted to do other things. Rumors about Manson being upset with John 5's drug and alcohol addiction and issues were swirling around, but the singer would never confirm or deny those claims. John 5 would find work shortly after leaving Marilyn Manson, forming the band Loser with vocalist Joe Gra of the already successful Dallas band Jibe. They actually found some success early on, recording a song that was featured in the 2005 Fantastic Four soundtrack. Marilyn Manson, believe it or not, actually wouldn't bring in anybody to replace John 5 at the time. Instead, they shrunk the band to a foursome, with bassist Tim Skold taking over on lead guitar. While we'll never really know the full story of what happened leading up to the fight at the Rock am Festival in 2003, it's pretty clear that the events that took place were the final crack to break the dam that was that formation of Marilyn Manson. The band has released several studio albums since John 5 left in 2004. They just haven't been nearly as successful. In the height of their success, Marilyn Manson, as bandmates, lost the battle of longevity and solidarity, begging the question, what if they'd just been able to get along?